me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy skin and we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. Hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't fool me again.
What people do in no money, what they at you, in no at you. Go be money, miss away in the yellow rat you. Use the youth, the money, waste my must have anti statue. Say me like a catch you, but bigger than a figure you. Take this spit of money, girl, and say that it's not you. One day the man above end up, him a got stop you. Too much it in the kitchen, some a fly by like a patu. When singers and DJs and social media's coming at you.
It burn me.
300% free.
It burn me.
Garbage pile of the day.
It burn me.
Give the teacher them raise.
It burn me.
I see corruption face.
It burn me.
Mash down the people them house.
It burn me.
Every day appear arms out.
It burn me.
Appear money them a thief.
It burn me.
And them a sell out the beach.
Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. Can't buy skin and we can't buy time. You can't fool me again. Can't fool me again. You can't fool me again. You hold me down for a very long time. Can't buy sugar, we can't buy lime. You touch up line and a resort to crime. You can't fool me again.
For me say big up all the charities and all of the givers. Some a go like say them powerful, me no make a bigger. The urgent the promises, none of them not deliver. Cut up the youth, they rap and they down in our river. Member bowl only and they lie them tell. Corruption smell and they pocket them swell. When police don't a market like Satan out of hell, go mash up people start like thief when them sell.
It burn me.
Or they treat the market man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat the cat man.
It burn me.
Or they treat the peanut man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat the dirt man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat the son man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat policeman.
It burn me.
Or them a treat soldier man.
It burn me.
Or them a treat everyone.
Yeah.
Stibby-dim day, stibby-dim day, stibby-dim day. We in Global TV says certain kind of friend we no cape. And some informer friend we love like we in Global. Bona fake friend and bona tape. We in Global. We not promote them, we not support them. Look at them on the cheek, come here represent for we in Global TV. Check it.
Good morning, good morning. It is Saturday. Welcome to our special broadcast this morning called Dr. Squalid. We knew yesterday when Dr. Repugnant came out, or Thursday or whatever, it was a mouthful of lies. Dr. Sleaze never take any blame for any of his blunder. What Dr. Sleaze rather does is passes the buck round and around and around. Can Tufton survive another blunder? Is what we're asking this morning. Do you think Tufton can survive another blunder? Or should Tufton pack his bag and trot along his very merry journey? After stealing so much, after all, 900 billion, Doctor. Dr. Sleaze, 900 billion. Time for Chris to move on now. To my community of party and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, viewers, subscribers, commenters, and trolls, good morning to you. Want to know, say, overtime, me depend to those on TikTok, Facebook, and YouTube, good morning. Marcia Thomas, good morning. Good morning, the Unstoppable One. Condolences to the Unstoppable One and her family on this a difficult day for their entire family. Beat and teach, Wagwan. Good morning, Noreen Robinson. Good morning. Abenasar Cody, Raymond G, Renee Nichols, Colleen Jones, Michelle Guthrie, how are you? Violet Watson, Sophia Hall. Good morning, all, and welcome. Thank you for joining us. Come on, we know by now, every time Chris Tufton up in his mouth is a bucket full of lies, innit? We know this doctor comfortably roll from one disaster to the other. We know that this minister regularly pluck up just about any lies out of thin air and shove it off onto us and accept us to believe it, run with it, even take it to the bank. Chris Tufton would want you to do, because Chris Tufton came out very emotional, very upset, doctor. That system defect, because an ammonia we problem in a Chris. An ammonia we problem, system defect, Chris say it is. And what Chris go do, Chris come out and go call people name and blame them, say, Imsi, Skimsi, and Dalsi Farden get the job for do. And them done Saddam, them seem to don't know what they're doing, Chris, would be implying system defect. But then, Chris, we learn, say, the system defect we are talking about is your very own competency, Chris, is it not? Your very own competency. Your lack of maintenance, Chris. You're turning a blind eye, Chris, to what Geddes' reference to you were. And Chris have the nerve to come out. But then again, Chris always have nerve for lie. You just have to ask Nadine Shields. Because this is why I'm telling all the while, Tash, what go on? This is why I'm telling all the while, focus on politicians' personal life. You see, once them get in our chair, or their personal life belong to us. Any politician you say a lie to them wife or husband, a cheat on them wife or husband, do not expect truth from that politician. You and the politician, they now lay down pan pillar. And if that politician can regularly lie and deceive the person where them are laid down pan pillar with, what do you think? You think they would second guess to lie to you? So if you want to know, so Chris Tufton has always been a fraudster, a cheat, and a useless liar, just ask Nadine Shields. Just ask. But he has shown us in public time and time over, Chris Tufton is a liar. Chris Tufton is incompetent. No, I'm not being ageist here. I'm not disrespecting the elders. But Andrew think like old people when it come to Chris. And let me explain what I mean. You know, the older generation from them here, you have the doctor title there. They don't care what kind of doctor be, then start tell you about them pain and them expect if you prescribe medication for them. That's how Andrew was thinking when Andrew hears Chris Tufton a doctor. So Andrew think to say, okay then, Chris Tufton a doctor, so me can put him for run the health service. It couldn't be any other thinking other than that. So Andrew pick up a PR novice and ask a PR novice to run the health care. So it have to be that type of thinking where Andrew was thinking, say, Chris Tufton an injection and prescription doctor, because I couldn't any other thing, making just take him up and put him there so in think about medication doctor and be saying we don't understand. Colleen James, when asked him for do. But blunder after blunder after blunder, Andrew Holness refused to remove Chris Tufton and put somebody there with competency. Blunder after blunder, robbing and stealing after robbing and stealing. Remember Chris Tufton and Dustin tell me what you know. So the reason why they couldn't account for the how much $1 billion is because people go on holiday, people take retirement, people go a foreign, and people dead. It was the same Chris that we learned in Dr. Abraham's article, the swelter of blunder with public money that during the COVID era. Chris just a walk and a issue out contract and a pay out public money. So and then Chris come out yesterday or Thursday or whatever and try to blame. Hey, what you say, Colleen James? Coming like in and say the hospital, them Roger Wagwan. And Chris Tufton have the nerve to come out and tell a pack of lies and make a pack of excuse and mistake as to who is responsible for the blunder except for Chris Tufton. Chris Tufton said, "And no money are the healthcare problem." He said, "No money are the problem." So like one of your money, Chris, and I don't money are the problem. We not spend no more money on the old washing machine. Dash it out and grown appliance traders go buy one brand new machine. We not spend no more money on this. Because that's what we do with all things, Chris. And like how and no money are the problem. What we want you to do is put your hand in our pocket, because we money, and go down a hardware, go buy some brand new air conditioner, go down a what you call them, get his refrigeration, go buy some new brand set air conditioner, because on the money are the problem. And the same thing them all and mash up and lack of maintenance, where we learn now, say, all the lie where you come out and come tell about system defect was all to do with your incompetence and your bad management, Chris Tufton. It was all to do with your bad management and your incompetency. It's nothing to do with system defect. How system defect become a problem without somebody incompetency would contribute Chris Tufton to that system defect. But let's listen to the recording we played yesterday.
Welcome back to Primetime News.
And a special welcome once again to our viewers on TVJ International in the Cayman Islands and online at onespotmedia.com.
Up first this evening, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton has sought to clarify the circumstances surrounding the case at the Bustamante Hospital for Children who is in need of surgery for scoliosis.
And the surgery was delayed because of poor conditions at the hospital.
And as Jamela Maitland reports, although the child has been referred to the University Hospital of the West Indies, there is still no definitive timeline on when she'll receive the corrective procedure.
11-year-old Ajani Parchment will have to bear the discomfort of her scoliosis a while longer before she's able to live a normal childhood. Her surgery was postponed at the Bustamante Hospital for Children because the operating theater is not up to standard. It doesn't have a functioning AC unit.
Snip eye, veteran, wagwan.
But during a press briefing Thursday morning, Health Minister Dr. Christopher Tufton says the procedure can be facilitated elsewhere.
The University Hospital of the West Indies has consented based on discussions and with the lead clinician there, Dr. Carl Bruce, having consulted with his team at UWIC to make an operating theatre available.
The issue is the doctors who are part of a mission from the United States leave the island in 24 hours. Fighting back the tears is Dr. Robert Bradley, who heads the team. Sadly, he says it's too late.
They want to make accommodations, make the decision today to do it tomorrow. That's not right. It's not right for the patients.
The health minister declared that Ajani will do her surgery. He wasn't able to say when. It's what worries Ajani's mom. Dr. Bradley and his team performs the surgeries for free. He revealed that the team usually does between 12 and 16 corrective surgeries during their visits.
Tap up the screen and TikTok, please.
They were only able to do 5.
In regards to my daughter's surgery, I still don't have any clue whether it's going to be done or not.
A visibly upset Dr. Tufton describes it as a perennial problem. The multi-million-dollar high-functioning operating theaters are seemingly not functioning.
I've asked for a draft terms of reference to engage a private entity to coordinate the overall maintenance of the plant of a health facility.
When you listen to lie carefully, listen, Christoph, and lie carefully, Marcia Biro. How are you?
CEO of the hospital, Anthony Wood.
We have 5 operating theaters. Of the 5, 2 are presently 3 works, but one of them have high condensation taking place right now. 2 actually not functional.
One has been out for how long?
Many years.
And that's the other thing.
Dr. Tufton explained that a company was contracted to repair the AC in April. Another company has since been brought in, but the problem remains.
The company that supplies the service has been at it for 5 months without resolution. And then we engage another one who said they can fix it, and in fairness, were prompt to assess, but now has bureaucratic hurdles based on their own internal arrangements. And now we're stalled again for 6 more weeks.
TVJ News observed the leadership of the South.
Christopton claims the second set with them contract is having bureaucratic hurdles that will delay it for another 6 weeks. Like, seriously, Christopton? Paperwork has stopped children from having well-needed operation. Why you don't dash with the old air condition, Chris? Money is not the problem, Chris. Dash with the old fridge. You have spent too much money on the old fridge, Chris. Just buy a new one. It will save us more money. But no, we're just finding out that everything with Chris, I walk all over the place and I blame it on everybody else. It's all about Chris' incompetency. Chris who hire cowboy. Chris who hire him friend them. Chris who hire people without going through the proper procurement process. Chris who hire contracted without anything on paperwork. And then Christopton want to come out here and tell us system defects and all sort of Anansi's story. Christopton cannot slide from one blunder to the next. It's time for Christopton to go.
Southeast Regional Health Authority, speaking with senior doctors about the issues they're experiencing. We understand that surgeries like Anjane's that require more than 4 hours pose significant risk for infection. The hospital, however, says it reviews and provides treatment on a case-by-case basis. Jamila Maitland, TVJ News.
The U.S. doctors who had to return unable to even do the amount of surgeries they normally do when they come to Jamaica to do these surgeries. Because of the derelict situation in our hospital, they were unable to complete even the amount that they normally do when them come. Them couldn't do more than 5. Because 2.5 of the theater at Bustamante not working. Christopton say it is system defect. But let's listen to the war of words between Christopton and Geddes refrigeration. Because he say Christopton pit never dry a dot before Geddes come out and said, don't call me name. Don't call me name in your mix up. All the while on make on a mix up on a blunder. Because on the thing when a minister and have on a gang them anybody afraid on a run come out and come tell lie first, Papi. Don't call me name, said Geddes. Don't call me name. Take responsibility for your incompetence and your dunceness, Christopher Tufton. Because with government are run by a pack of wolves and a pack of dunce. That's why them can only dead and steal them can't do nothing beneficial for the country. Johnny H. Wagwan, Deb, Sharon Bernard. While the country is falling apart, rather than Andrew Holness invest in the healthcare, Andrew Holness a walk and promise airport all across the country. May I go put extra terminal a Montego Bay? May I go build airport on the grill? May I go put extra terminal upper Wowo yonder Ian Fleming, agency driver Wagwan. And with healthcare a pop down 9 miles. What would be a better investment given what we know now, Andrew Holness? Airport or hospital? Airport or hospital? Which do you think the country needs? The country is in dire strait for Andrew Holness. A bunch of useless airport where Christopher Columbus picking them alone are going to benefit from. It not going to benefit we, because anything we not do is all about tourists and Christopher Columbus and him picking them. That's why we not get nothing out of the tourism industry. Because everything in the tourist industry is about Erie Mass and him picking them. Every part of Jamaica, uno thinks uno want to develop. If Erie Mass and him picking them don't go there, uno don't care. Uno literally don't care if Erie Mass and him picking them don't go there. Look at the roads them where Erie Mass are picking them travels in a Jamaica. Them fix them road and them community there. But in a Backawal community, Tufton tell us say we're not entitled to ambulance, we're not entitled to good health care, we're not entitled to the good clinical and medical services where we whole away foreign entitled to. Tufton I say we fi dead pan cheer. So therefore, him and him MP were run archers can get the body and make more money off of it. And then him run round and tell market me, say tell them to tell everybody about archers. So it's all a circle of scamming for Tufton. Tufton have been scamming us and try to damage our health for some long while now. But nobody no see the need of moving Tufton. But telling all the while, Jamaica, you say if you no relax to these abuse, the abuser will only think of new ways to abuse you. No abuser now say, me abuse him enough now, make me do something good for him. No, and as an abuser behave. Is it snip I or snip one? We don't need no airport. Jamaica, as a little island, have 3 airports. That's enough. Enough. If they want space, then stagger this the flight them. Jamaica do not need an airport. We don't need to improve airport capacity. Not at this point. We have more pressing things to deal with, like a derelict healthcare, a derelict education system, a pothole-filled rural roadway, EM Wagwan. What we need at the moment, the 3 major areas we need for plunge development in is our healthcare. You need a healthy nation. 2, our education infrastructure. You need people with knowledge and skill in order for your economy to become productive. You also need a good road or rail network. Oh, it's Snip-Eye. Thank you. We need a good road and rail network that will drive productivity across the country, move people more freely and accessible across the country. Those are things that will drive economic production. We don't need airport. Airport is only catering to foreign people. Gloria Morris, how are you? Vincent Dinham. Improving airport capacity. You're only catering to the private investors that are draining out the financial belly of Jamaica through the tourism industry, because these people who control the tourist sector, them don't base in a Jamaica, them base abroad, and when them suck the money out of Jamaica, the money go right back abroad. The little salary where them pay to Jamaicans, a menial salary, pittance. But Jamaica people sit down and still suck up the abuse. After Chris Tufton and the 8 dead baby, Chris Tufton should have never survived government after that. After Chris Tufton lied about the bacteria that was killing off babies in the hospital, which Chris Tufton knew about for months, and Chris Tufton lied to the public about that. Chris Tufton should have never survived that. But let's move on to the war of words between Chris Tufton and Geddes Refrigeration.
The Tufton claimed that Geddes Refrigeration Limited was terminated from its contract under the Program for the Reduction of Maternal and Child Mortality PROMAC at the Victoria Jubilee Hospital. The minister said Geddes was replaced by CAC, another company, which he said had been relieved of their duties under a similar project at the Children's Hospital.
Victoria Jubilee Hospital has a maternal intensive care unit under the PROMAC system. That's the one of all of them that's not working. Why? Because of central air conditioning system. For 2 years, Geddes Refrigeration has been given the job, the task to repair or to put in that central system. Am I wrong? This is the regional director. 2 years. System can't fix. Not a lack of money, not a lack of decision, can't fix. And CAC, say what that was fired here, has now been hired. You know, have a lot of options. Now I ask you the question. Where does the burden lie? And at what point are we going to call out some of these things? The conversation is that the hospital and the health system is incompetent because you have an operating theatre that's not working because the AC is down.
Dr. Tufton's comments seem to shift the blame for the stalled surgical operations as a result of non-functioning air-conditioned units to the private contractors. But Dane Lafayette isn't having it. He tells Nationwide News that his company successfully installed the units at VJH in the 2020 to 21 period. He says the units operated efficiently for over a year without issues, despite not having performed any maintenance services. He says his company repeatedly submitted maintenance proposals to the ministry, but was never formally engaged to carry out repairs or maintenance on the unit in question.
As far as I know, since we have installed the equipment, Geddes Refrigeration Limited has never been engaged for maintenance services, despite repeatedly sending the maintenance proposals or having meeting with the team of Southeast Regional Authority. As far as I know, we have never been formally engaged to execute any repair, and we are unable to restore any unit to operation as it has reached the position that we were fired or terminated. Everyone in my organization understands the importance of hospital services. If there's a report of equipment not operating or functioning properly, my team responds within 3 hours or less. The assessment is carried out, the necessary costing to effect the repairs is provided to the region, and we cannot effect the repairs if we are not engaged or formally instructed to.
Lafayette notes that the only problem ever reported involved a temporary cooling failure, which he said was promptly resolved. Referencing work on other units over the years, Lafayette says on the occasions his company was engaged to carry out repairs, it found the units to be in poor condition.
Over the years, I've had repeated meetings with the region, advising them of the need to maintain the equipment, because each time we're called, the equipment is in a despicable state. That's the only word I could use to describe it. And it should be noted, that in many instances, when we're finally engaged after a period of weeks or months, the state in which we left the equipment after we assessed it for repairs is not the same. The unit is either scrapped or we find that other people have been working on the equipment. And this has always been communicated to the respective personnel. So it's just quite concerning to hear the minister's pronouncement on radio. It's always important for the minister or anyone to listen to their team members, but it's also important to listen to your service providers as well, and also make an effort to bridge the gap.
Ricardo Brooks for Nationwide News.
Victoria Jubilee Hospital has a maternal intensive care unit under the Promax system. That's the one of all of them that's not working. Why? Because that's central air conditioning system. For 2 years, Geddes Refrigeration has been given the job, the task, to repair or to put in that central system. Am I wrong? This is the regional director. 2 years. System can't fix. Not a lack of money, not a lack of decision, can't fix. We fired them, and CAC, they say what that was fired here has now been hired. You know, have a lot of options. Now I ask you the question, where does the burden lie? And at what point are we going to call out some of these things? The conversation is that the hospital and the health system is incompetent because you have an operating theater that's not working because the AC is down.
As far as I know, since we have installed the equipment, Geddes Refrigeration Limited has never been engaged for maintenance services, despite repeatedly sending the maintenance proposals or having meetings with the team of Southeast Regional Authority. As far as I know, we have never been formally engaged to execute any repair, and we are unable to restore any unit to operation that it has reached the position that we were fired or terminated. Everyone in my organization understands the importance of hospital services. If there's a report of equipment not operating or functioning properly, my team responds within 3 hours or less. The assessment is carried out, the necessary costing to effect the repairs is provided to the region, and we cannot effect the repairs if we are not engaged or formally instructed to. Over the years, I've had repeated meetings with the region, advising them of the need to maintain the equipment, because each time we're called, the equipment is in a despicable state. That's the only word I could use to describe it. And it should be noted, that in many instances, when we're finally engaged after a period of weeks or months, the state in which we left the equipment after we assessed it for repairs is not the same. The unit is either scrapped or we find that other people have been working on the equipment. And this has always been communicated to the respective personnel. So it's just quite concerning to hear the minister's pronouncement on radio. It's always important for the minister or anyone to listen to their team members, but it's also important to listen to your service providers as well, and also make an effort to bridge the gap.
There's an awful lot to unpack in what the gentleman from Geddes Refrigeration is saying. He's saying the system defect that Dr. Tufton is blaming the thing on. It's not a system defect, it's a lack of maintenance. It's a Dr. Tufton refusing to follow advice from institutions like Geddes Refrigeration and others. You also heard where him said, when them turn up, them find out that other people will be working on it as well. The question is, Dr. Tufton, are the cowboy them, you take and mash it up for Chief Price and Cap and what is the word called? What the corrupt practice what they use again? But it seems as if Dr. Tufton have a lot of cowboys doing the maintenance work. My system freeze. Bear with me. Hope you not hear me. Have maintenance, the cowboy maintenance, doing the job, and now the whole of it, kickback money, yes, kickback money, the whole of it mashed down. And Dr. Tufton, rather than taking the blame for him not spend money maintaining the system without him following the advice given by Geddes Refrigeration. Dr. Tufton just went along and do whatever he wants to do, and now the whole system crashed away, and Dr. Tufton is nowhere to take the responsibility for the failure that he have caused, the failed management of an incompetent doctor, a PR doctor, a doctor who think that going in front of the microphone and camera and carry out stunt is something that will work in an age where social media scrutinize everything that crooked politician does. How this government managed to march along so shamelessly in corruption, nepotism, and incompetency? How do they? How do they march along so silently? I see you asked one question earlier. Where they again? Careful what you wish for, EM. Jamaica need a complete do-over. EM, careful what you wish for. You don't hear say Arbin Hill and Andrew Holness travel all the way round the world to look for somebody to help them to rebrand Jamaica international image. Who you think them back up on EM? Who you think Andrew and Arbin Hill buck up on when them a walk round, walk till them tired because it's hard to find somebody to rebrand Jamaica international image? Surprise, surprise. Who you think them buck up on? Christopher Columbus. Remember say Christopher Columbus brand we and name we and fix we up left way, you know. And Andrew is saying to us in 2024 that we have mashed up and give a bad name and a bad impression of what Christopher Columbus left. Hey, Jesus. So Andrew say, in order for Jamaica to look good on the international scene, let's go and get a consultation with Christopher Columbus so we can rebrand Jamaica's international image. Tell me if this is not a Kiss Me Ross government operating, throwing insult after insult at us. Does that make any sense? I mean, of all the, Vegas, you will understand the brand Jamaica. You can advise Andrew. I mean, you crazy about this brand Jamaica. You don't have no idea. You mean to say, you kill off Mark Golden and the British them. And then same one turn round, gone all the way past the British them, all the way to over Christopher Columbus. How it makes sense? The last relationship we have with the British them, I mean, how you jump over the British them and gone back to Christopher? Remember, so we did gang up with the British them to fight against Christopher, Don't you remember that, Andrew? Is the dumbest set of wolves that has ever run our country. This is why Nigel Clark is going, and there isn't a finance minister in our country. Because the country is run by a dunce pack of wolves who think to say JBC and RGR done with. The days of JBC and RGR done with. One of you could have just tell JBC and RGR, say they go tell the lie there for me and just make them quiet and shut up. Nobody listens to JBC and RGR anymore. These are redundant things. See, Cliff Hughes are trying to keep up with we. Cliff Hughes even after tell lie and spread propaganda to keep up. Don't you realize what's happening? So you can't come out here and tell Lipan Geddes Refrigeration and think Geddes Refrigeration don't have a right to respond. I mean, anybody can take up them phone and speak to the world these days, Chris. Or you don't understand it like that. I mean, the dung in your throat, Christopher. Hmm? Everybody can become a journalist these days, Chris, if they so choose. So when you come in front of camera and I try to tell the first lie, don't mean so when not go get exposed, because people don't afraid of the government anymore, and people don't sit down and hide behind fear and make government tell lie upon them. Because what Chris Tufton came out and said was a pack of lies. Chris Tufton is trying to throw the blame around at everybody else to duck his incompetency. The problem here, the healthcare is run by an incompetent minister. A minister who doesn't take advice, a minister who doesn't even understand the advice he's been given. A whole bunch of technocrats and bureaucrats who is just a pussy fodder for the minister, because nobody can stand up and tell the minister said, not so, minister. We are the experts. How did we get here? We have a gunslinger running national security and a PR stunt running the healthcare. See the creme de la creme of finance and economic management, the doctor, the dishonorable lying Nigel Clark is going, and we cannot find a replacement for Dr. the dishonorable Nigel Clark. We have swindled the money through the foundations. This is an open disgrace when a government has such a majority and is unable to do even a meaningful cabinet reshuffle. A government who cannot find a minister of finance in a 40+ majority in government. And you cannot find a replacement of a minister of finance. The most likely thing it look like at the moment, one of the two crook, the wife or the husband, will be running the finance ministry under the with an advisor behind them. And you all think this is safe? Foreign people are notice we are going around on the Jamaicans are not noticing what's going on. I'm going to play one video because white people come to Jamaica often know that, and them see what go through there, and they're not comfortable with it.
In Montego Bay, Jamaica right now, and the prices here are absolutely crazy. Half a watermelon is $11. What? This tiny bag of Cheetos is $6. King size? This isn't even print size. $15 frickin' dollars for some green grapes? Are they filled with gold? This box of Frosted Flakes, $19.
And the price he's telling you is in US dollars, not Jamaican dollars. US dollars. I'm pretty sure you all are aware of that.
$19. $19. $4.40 for one red pepper. A Jack's Pizza, the crappiest, the worst frozen pizza of all time, is $7.50. How do Jamaicans afford to live in Jamaica? Crappy Chips Ahoy cookies for $8.50. Come on, bro. This might be the craziest one yet. $8.50 for just 2 paper towels? Local Jamaicans, help me out. Make it make sense. Why is everything so ridiculously expensive at the grocery stores?
This is another looming disaster in our country. Because even though the Prime Minister chicken on turn and say, me raise minimum wage twice in a 1 year. Compare the minimum wage to cost of living and inflation, Prime Minister. Compare the minimum wage to cost of living and inflation. and see if the people are not worse off. The people of Jamaica cannot buy food anymore, bros. Wayne Evans, how no do? The people of Jamaica are finding it difficult to buy food. They cannot deal with the extortionate prices. But I want to appeal to the people of Jamaica. Take note of Kenya, who, when the government was enforcing harder living upon them stand up and them reject the finance bill, and the government have to roll it back. Nigeria, when the youth stand up against high cost of living, the government in fear run to parliament, to Congress, and double the minimum wage, pass a law to double the minimum wage within 48 hours. We see the other day in the French it was the French Martinique, isn't it? Where the people protested and pushed government to roll back on some of their draconian ideas when it comes to high cost of living. Jamaicans, when I go sit down and allow this government to abuse in every way, when I go sit down every day and make tourists alone enjoy the country, enjoy the country and not uno blood, sweat and tears, bill it, uno tile and labor, bill it. But then again, Andrew say a Christopher place, so let's bring back Christopher to make sure Christopher set it back how if it stay. Let us listen to Commissioner Joy campaign video, and remember, if you are in West Park, support Commissioner Joy. Early voting has already started.
Park, a community that thrives thanks to the dedication of one remarkable leader, Commissioner Joy B. Smith. From her early beginnings in England and Jamaica to her current role as a commissioner in West Park, Commissioner Joy's journey is a testament to her unwavering commitment to service and community. Every day, Commissioner Smith's actions speak volumes. Here, she's personally distributing groceries to local residents, ensuring that no one in our community goes hungry.
That's a little something. Not a problem. That's what I do. Just give back to my community. I find the resources and I bring it on in.
Commissioner Joy's hands-on approach exemplifies her dedication. As she runs for re-election, she's a difference.
Hello, everybody. I just want to encourage you to vote for Miss Joy. She's running for West Park Commissioner C3. She's an amazing person. She actually cares about West Park, and she wants to do a lot of things for the community. I encourage everybody to get out there and vote. And she's an amazing person. She's the right person to vote for. I encourage you, remember, C3 for West Park Commissioner, Miss Joy.
Commissioner Joy's passion for supporting our youth is equally profound. At the recent back-to-school event, Commissioner Joy was there, handing out backpacks filled with essential supplies. This event wasn't just about school supplies. It was a celebration of our children's future, supported by local law enforcement who provided invaluable training and guidance. And it's clear that Joy's impact resonates deeply.
I remember when I didn't have a car, she would literally drive the food to my house, and that shows her commitment, it shows her heart, and it shows that she is in this position to help the community. And it's not about just being a commissioner or about the title. It's literally for the people and for the community, and to make sure that we are on point. Vote Joy!
From personal conversations to community outreach, Commissioner Joy Smith listens, understands, and acts with a heartfelt dedication to improving our city. Her leadership has already brought transformative initiatives, back-to-school drives, essential food distributions, and community celebrations. As she seeks re-election, Commissioner Joy is focused on continuing this momentum. Her vision includes removing red light cameras for smoother commutes, lowering property taxes to ease financial burdens, and fostering economic growth through collaboration with local businesses. Commissioner Joy Smith is also committed to expanding programs for both seniors and youth, ensuring every resident, young and old, has the support they need. And with a renewed focus on reviving cherished traditions like the Goombay Festival, Joy aims to rekindle the vibrant spirit of community that makes West Park truly special.
This is Commissioner Joy B. Smith, and I want to thank you for your continued trust and support. Every decision I make is guided by a genuine concern for our community's needs. As I seek re-election, I am committed to building our successes, addressing pressing concerns, and bringing renewed energy to our city. Together, let's continue to make West Park a place where every resident feel heard, valued, and empowered. I ask for your support as we move forward together. Let's keep making our community the best it can be. Once again, this is Commissioner Joy B. Smith, and thank you for watching.
And make sure if you're in the West Park area, you vote Commissioner Joy for a better community. Here is Andrew's problem at the moment, because Chris Tufton cannot continue rolling from one disaster to the other. Andrew Holness is in a pickle at the moment where he cannot demand the resignation of a minister, particularly a minister that could be challenger to Andrew Holness in a leadership debacle, which at some point will break away in the Jamaica Labour Party. They will at some point have to replace Andrew by the hook or the cook. So Andrew at the moment, no matter what shit Dr. Tufton throw in his face, Andrew have to play the cool card at the moment. Him can't do anything to Everett Warmington the other day. Because what you would be do is sending a rogue out of the cabinet and release him of his collective responsibility as a cabinet. Therefore, Dr. Tufton could go out on a sweltering attack on the Prime Minister, wielding the knife, sticking it wherever blood would flow from. So Andrew is really in a pickle at the moment. Andrew will have to just act like one, him no see, no or hear what go on, or as they've always done, Andrew will come out and tell us, I have full confidence in Dr. Tufton's management of a broken, derelict bathroom, less bed, less X-ray, less CT, less MRI, less dialysis, less theaterless healthcare. Dr. Tufton. Exactly. Come remember Warmington, Marcia B. Road, they come out and come tell us, say, I did not resign, Andrew fire me. I dare you at the moment, Andrew. Fire Chris. Fire Chris. Because we want the war, you know, we'll wait for it long time because we know there will be a nasty leadership roar in the Jamaica Labour Party. The best bitch may wins when the war breaks out. But it's going to happen. Dr. Tufton, though, how are you going to throw your hat into such a ring in front of a nation where you're guilty of our dead babies, doctor? You're guilty of that bad rice, doctor. You're guilty of that dung in your throat, doctor. You're guilty of cheating on your wife, doctor. You're guilty of misappropriation at the Ministry of Health for 8 years, doctor. You're guilty for the incompetence and the mismanagement of the Ministry of Health, doctor. How can you throw your hat in the ring? I mean, explain. Because I'm sure, doctor, you have leadership and prime ministerial ambitions. Do you think after such a rolling catastrophe, Dr. Squalid, after such a rolling catastrophe at the Ministry of Health, do you think you're qualified to lead our country, Dr. Sleaze? I mean, the nation don't want to see or hear from you. Because every time you speak to the nation is a bunch of lies. A bunch of shoving the blame from Dr. Tufton to everybody else but Dr. Tufton. When Dr. Tufton is the be-all and the end-all of the problem in the healthcare because of incompetency, bad management, nepotism and cowboyism and securing kickbacks. That's all you're there for, doctor. That's all you're there for. Rolling from one disaster to the other. When it's not, what you call it, ventilator, it's this, it's that. Doctor, you're just rolling from one disaster to the other. But now we realize, doctor, it's not money problem. Just go down and get his, go buy some new air condition and make sure the theater works so the children them can have them operation. It don't hard, you know. I mean, it is not as hard as you're all making it. Just throw the old fridge and go down to appliance traders. Go buy a new fridge. It is as simple as that, Dr. Tufton. You don't need to waste more money on the air condition system when I work and has gone to you, nobody don't know what we turn, nobody don't know how to fix it. So what's the point of wasting more money when we have more money? Just dash for the old thing and go buy a new set. Are that sensible people do, you know, doctor? That's what sensible people do. That's what forward thinking people do. That's what problem solving thinking does, doctor. Not sit down and pass the blame around to try to cover your incompetency, your lack of understanding of anything you're in charge of, doctor. Chris Tufton must go. Andrew Holness must go. The country cannot continue with the mismanagement, the corruption, and the lies. These guys need to go. You have done enough. You've killed enough of our babies, Dr. Tufton. That's not what the country employed you for as a Minister of Health, to be a danger to our babies, to be a danger to our health, Dr. Tufton, to be a danger to our children, Dr. Tufton. That's not why you were employed by the country to run our National Health Service. We never even employ you there, so anyway. If the Duns Prime Minister will hear about the doctor, and just like any old person, when them hear about doctor, them tell you all part of them will have pain and all sort of ailment where you have. Oh no, grandma, I'm not that type of doctor. I'm just a doctor of philosophy, a doctor of making up things and talk a lot of fuckery and then put it in paper and get awarded for it, doctor. That's why you don't understand nothing. Because like psychiatrists, most people who do a PhD are quite loonified at times because they get skewed into that tunnel vision of thinking that they are doing when them are pursuing them PhD. Because when you're pursuing a PhD, a part of your PhD, you go into a tunnel vision where you just focus on a particular thing. All heap of them don't understand after studying a PhD how to come out of the tunnel vision of what they've studied. Hence, you see, Dr. Tufton can't even, after 8 years, get experience and knowledge from the experienced technocrats and bureaucrats who've been working within the Department of Health. Because even Dr. Tufton, Permanent Secretary, was done Sasbat. Because Dr. Tufton, Permanent Secretary, Dustin Bryan, come out here and tell us the reason why I did not submit appropriations account for the last 8 years is because, and say, people dead, people went and they migrated abroad, and people retired. That was why Dustin Bryan was unable for 8 years to submit an appropriations account. We cannot continue with Chris Tufton. We cannot continue with Andrew Holness. It's too much of a danger for our country. It's too much of a danger for democracy. It's too much of a danger for the health of our children. When Chris Tufton used Cowboy, turn a blind eye to the maintenance of the air conditions system at Bustamante Children's Hospital, and now coming out to telling us that it's a system defect. So incompetency has now become system defect, Christopher Tufton, because we're learning from Getty's refrigeration that you have not maintained the system, even when they make recommendation to you of how regular or when the system needs to be maintained. He's even alleging that on a possible use Cowboy to work on the system who possibly don't understand what they do, Chris Tufton. We know you to be that. During COVID, Chris Tufton, you did just a walk and issue out contract, so and a dash it here and there, contract without any formal arrangement, contract that has gone that has been signed off without any procurement process gone through Chris Tufton. Chris Tufton cannot survive another blunder. This is another blunder to do with the health of our children. Jamaicans, aren't you care about the health of your children? Why Chris Tufton should continuously put the life and health of our children at risk and continue get away with it and lead blindly and nobody to do or say anything? Dr. Daz need to shout louder too. Shout louder. There's a lot of effort going on in the health service where Dr. Daz need to expose and shout louder about. But them also within the load shouting must come and tell us how they are going to fix these problems when they come to government. Because we don't want nobody just walk and call out another one disgrace, and when them come, them turn a blind eye like them don't see it, and then we're left with it after an election cycle. Just like Andrew and Tufton claims that they can't see it in a whatever state, and them haven't done anything, them just make it worse. Because more and more we have to sit down up in a chair. More and more a plastic chair, them a push around and I see a wheelchair. Jamaicans only need to wake up. Marie, Isilda Williams, how no do? Morning. Lawrence Wood, Rose, Wayne Evans, how no do? Jeanette McIntosh. Wake up, people. Wake up. It's not getting any better. If the children health care, David Watson Marcy agree. If the health of our children is not a priority to this government, we are in danger. It's not the first Dr. Tufton has shown this disregard for the health of our children. Dorothy Brown, we've seen it in the dead baby scandal where Dr. Tufton knew. Dr. Tufton was informed. Dr. Tufton was alerted that there's a bacteria in the hospitals that is affecting babies. And Dr. Tufton allow our babies to die without doing anything about it. And then Dr. Tufton still come out in public and lied to us about when he became aware of the situation. We cannot continue like this. Mothers, when you go to hospital with your children, you no fret. You can't sit down Kenny Gill every day and just fret through the situation. Get up and use on power to make changes in your country, in your community. Them latia were dead. Don't dead to protect your interests. Them dead to full them gut and them pocket. And all when gut and pocket full, them still a belch and a stuff. The Prime Minister lay down in front of the court doorway a walla for protect money where him can't justify where him get it from. But at the same time, the Prime Minister tell you say good economic management can name. After him promise in February during local government election, when him does St. Thomas a campaign, and him telling us, say, them spend 6 years getting the economy right at the top. And now that they have gotten it right, they know what's your problem are down there. I remember saying use a hand gesture them to explain to what I mean. Your water on your road, and we're going to start sharing the success of the good economy with you by fixing your water on your road, and you all sort of the lie them when you can't tell, but nothing has happened. Nothing has happened. Him just gone, left so, right so. Wherever the wind blows, that's where this Prime Minister follows. This Prime Minister don't think about the people when he make decision. This Prime Minister think, is the wind blowing favorable in my direction? That's why they're not ashamed when them tell lie. Let's listen to Christoph and lie them again.
Tufton claimed that Geddes Refrigeration Limited was terminated from its contract under the Program for the Reduction of Maternal and Child Mortality PROMAC at the Victoria Jubilee Hospital. The minister said Geddes was replaced by CAC, another company, which he said had been relieved of their duties under a similar project at the Children's Hospital.
Victoria Jubilee Hospital has a maternal intensive care unit under the PROMAC system. That's the one of all of them that's not working. Why? Because of central air conditioning system. For 2 years, Geddes Refrigeration has been given the job, the task to repair or to put in that central system. Am I wrong? This is the regional director. 2 years. System can't fix. Not a lack of money, not a lack of decision, can't fix. We fired them, and CAC, say what that was fired here, has now been hired. You know, have a lot of options. Now I ask you the question, where does the burden lie? And at what point are we going to call out some of these things? The conversation is that the hospital and the health system is incompetent because you have an operating theatre that's not working because the AC is down.
Dr. Tufton's comments seem to shift the blame for the stalled surgical operations as a result of non-functioning air-conditioned units to the private contractors. But Dane Lafayette isn't having it. He tells Nationwide News that his company successfully installed the units at VJH in the 2020 to 21 period. He says the units operated efficiently for over a year without issues, despite not having performed any maintenance services. He says his company repeatedly submitted maintenance proposals to the ministry, but was never formally engaged to carry out repairs or maintenance on the unit in question.
As far as I know, since we have installed the equipment, Geddes Refrigeration Limited has never been engaged for maintenance services, despite repeatedly sending the maintenance proposals or having meeting with the team of Southeast Regional Authority. As far as I know, we have never been formally engaged to execute any repair, and we are unable to restore any unit to operation that it has reached the position that we were fired or terminated. Everyone in my organization understands the importance of hospital services. If there's a report of equipment not operating or functioning properly, my team responds within 3 hours or less. The assessment is carried out, the necessary costing to effect the repairs is provided to the region, and we cannot effect the repairs if we are not engaged or formally instructed to.
Lafayette notes that the only problem ever reported involved a temporary cooling failure, which he said was promptly resolved. Referencing work on other units over the years, Lafayette says on the occasions his company was engaged to carry out repairs, it found the units to be in poor condition.
Over the years, I've had repeated meetings with the region, advising them of the need to maintain the equipment, because each time we are called, the equipment is in a despicable state. That's the only word I could use to describe it. And it should be noted, that in many instances, when we are finally engaged after a period of weeks or months, the state in which we left the equipment after we assessed it for repairs is not the same. The unit is either scrapped or we find that other people have been working on the equipment. And this has always been communicated to the respective personnel. So it's just quite concerning to hear the minister's promotions on radio. It's always important for the minister or anyone to listen to their team members, but it's also important to listen to your service providers as well, and also make an effort to bridge the gap.
Ricardo Brooks for Nationwide News.
Basically, he's saying Chris Tufton is inexperienced, Chris Tufton is incompetent, and more than all, Chris Tufton don't listen. Chris Tufton don't take advice from anybody around him. That's why Chris regularly fall from one blunder to the other. This is not the Ministry of Tourism, Chris Tufton. Your PR would kind of work if you was the Minister of Tourism. But when it comes to the healthcare, Tufton, the PR galangin don't work. It's a hands-on approach. It's an experience-led approach, Chris Tufton. Something you're not qualified or experienced in. If Andrew Holness afraid to ask you to go, Chris Tufton, do the honorable thing. You have proven time and time after that your management of the healthcare is a danger to our children. We saw it in the dead baby scandal. And now we're seeing it at Bustamante and Victoria Jubilee and all across the country. There's a massive failure in your leadership, Dr. Tufton. Such massive failure, Dr. Tufton, demands your resignation. Your position is no longer tenable because you have shown us time and time after you are not a good pair of hands for the job. Neither do you have the qualification or expertise to head such a role. If Andrew Holness cannot ask you to go, do the honorable thing and go. The children of Jamaica deserve better. The people of Jamaica deserve better, and the type of health care that you are providing, Dr. Tufton, it's not working out. It's not working out. It's not helping. Failure after failure after failure. Enough of it. The people must demand Dr. Tufton resignation. The people must get up and become concerned about them future and them children's future. Otherwise, Dr. Tufton don't afraid for colonel and put on down archers and make more money off on. You understand? You all have to care about yourself. Dr. Tufton really doesn't give two hoots Because if him know that a bacteria was dangerously affecting our babies, and Dr. Tufton shut him out and turned a blind eye to what was unfolding. Dr. Tufton further came out and lied to us that I only became aware XYZ, which turned out to be a lie. Just like how Dr. Tufton came out and tell us it's a system defect and Geddes now CC or whatever them is, don't understand how to fix the air condition. It turned out, Dr. Tufton, those were all lies as well. Cannot continue to lie to the nation just like that and continue to make a mockery of our health care. It's really not on. But you, the people, when don't act like you care about your future, because when we just make this government ram raid through any and everything they want to do without you, the people, show the government your discontent. Thank you all for being here this morning on this special broadcast. I don't know, say Saturdays were overtime. Thanks to those on TikTok, even though I never tap up the screen. Thanks to those on YouTube, on Facebook. Thank you all very much for your support. I think that's it for the day because I don't know, it's a Saturday's day off. If Dr. Tufton come out with another serious lie, we will make sure we come out here. Because when you bring the story last night, we knew Dr. Tufton was lying. But by the time we did the pan here, the lie exposed, but me never traversed through social media. But then it turned out it was all a lie. It was all about shoving the blame off Dr. Tufton and push it on somebody else. But Geddes Refrigeration was not having it. Thank you very much. Thank you. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. And hopefully we'll see you tomorrow or Monday. Thank you very much for your support this morning. And we're saying goodbye to those on YouTube, on Facebook. Thank you very much. Good afternoon. Enjoy your weekend from the Global Television Group.
We don't feel comfortable sitting in Parliament with a Minister of Government who has openly accepted responsibility, who expresses no regret for the act, where a Commission of Parliament has confirmed that the act is corrupt and has referred it for prosecution, and that Minister shows no sign of wanting to resign, or the Prime Minister showing no signs of moving to dismiss the Minister.
With all the sympathy that one can have for support, this is embarrassing, not only to the government as a party, not only the PNP, but to the government, to Jamaica, to all of us. Our heads bow this morning with this sort of reaction to it.
So we have to take firm actions in this regard. It is a dark day for Jamaica, where the Prime Minister is unwilling or afraid to act against a minister in which the public has lost total confidence and in which the institutions of the society are all agreed that this person does not enjoy their trust or faith and has breached the confidence that the people have placed in them. I believe that this has the potential, if it continues, to bring down the entire government.